Friday. We've got plenty of football to discuss. In fact, we're going to prepare you for the whole weekend of football tomorrow.
Football? What about basketball? There's games all day long. We'll keep you up to date and ready to go. No, by the way, is your turkey defrosted? The party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
In college football, North Texas head coach and former UIW head man Eric Morris now has a new home again as he'll be taking the head coaching job at Oklahoma State, although he will be remaining with North Texas through their potential American Conference title game and college football playoff bid if it happens. Former Texans and Cowboys wide receiver Brandon Cooks, who was released by the Saints last week, signing with the Bills.
This Sports Center update brought to you by Twin Peaks.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge. What's up, Danger?
Can't stop me now. Welcome into Extra Innings with Pledger right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Appreciate y'all joining me. However you may be joining me, whether that's on 94.1 on your FM dial, if you happen to be locked in and listening live at sasportstar.com via our AA Best Bonds Bail Bonds audio player, or if you happen to be watching the show live on YouTube. That's right, we stream all of our shows via YouTube. Just go to YouTube, search SA Sports Star, go ahead and like, subscribe while you're here. You're able to comment along with the show as it happens, or feel free to call in the old-fashioned way, 210-656-ESPN, 656 3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. We'll take you until 6:30 tonight as we have Texas A&M taking on Mississippi Valley State in college hoops. That's starting at 6:30 with the pregame tip-off coming up at 7 o'clock. But we'll stay in the college ranks because lots going on. Earlier we spoke with Danny Cannell on the Blitz to shed some light on some things you heard in my Sports Center update, the Eric Morris situation, as he is going to Oklahoma State to be the new head coach of the Cowboys, replacing one Mike Gundy, who was fired earlier in the season. And it's a good move for Eric Morris. And it's a great move by both programs to let him finish where he started by coaching out the rest of the regular season, a potential conference title game, and if they make it, a potential college football playoff bid. On the other hand, Lane Kiffin in a similar situation with Ole Miss, we aren't sure if that is going to end in the same type of scenario where he would be allowed to finish coaching, which is wild to me, especially knowing they have a legitimate shot at not just the college football playoffs, but a potential national title with a run in the CFP if he were to stay. And whether it would be his decisions or Ole Miss's decision, whoever it falls on, it would be awful to rob the kids, rob the program, rob the students of that potential situation. And earlier this morning on the Morning Huddle, Rob and AJ talking about the potential of Lane Kiffin leaving Ole Miss in season.
It's going to be an interesting week for Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin.
I'm excited for the potential of this, but I hate the process.
Yeah. Lane Kiffin is going to be coaching somewhere next season. Could be Ole Miss.
What do you think?
Seems unlikely.
What do you think?
I think I've said all along, I think Florida is a better job than LSU long term. I also think that LSU's governor coming out and saying, we're never going to make a mistake like that again, tells me that Florida is probably willing to take some risks on their contract that LSU might not be willing to take. So I think he's going to end up at Florida. I know LSU is the front runner. I think Ole Miss is SOL.
And it's probably the pecking order. I get it, kind of. But having been in a situation as an Aggie to lose a coach that that brought you to near the promised land, that gave you a hope that you hadn't had in decades, kind of stuff, and to have to sit and for Lane Kiffin to make you, even if he says I'm staying, even if for some crazy thing happens and he says, I'm staying, to make his fan base and his school and also LSU in Florida sit and wait during the season, mind you. This is crazy.
But what is he supposed to do?
I don't blame him. I don't blame LSU for throwing money around. I don't blame Florida for asking. I don't blame anybody for doing what they're doing. I blame the circumstance. I blame that those who might, and there might be nothing we can do about this. There might be literally we've thought about it and we can't fix it for not causing other problems, that this is just how life is going to have to be in this modern world. But the fact that he is now holding 3 gigantic financial institutions, and this is separate and apart from the football and the sporting, this 3 gigantic money-making metropolises hostage for a week. You know that none of them knows what he's going to do. The decision will affect, at the end of the day, hundreds of millions of dollars. But if you combine all 3 of the contracts that are going to be involved when everybody's signed and done, it'll be $100 million that this guy is holding everybody hostage for a week, or at least waiting for the domino to fall. It's such an extraordinary thing that college football has found, that we've got this in the midst of, and you brought this up in the break, and one of these unintended consequences that I hadn't even thought about is an Ole Miss team with a couple of losses that's now minus a head coach, or at least a coach that the players want to play for. When you're coming to vote for the tournament, do you vote for that guy? Do you vote for the team that you kind of feel like has already got one arm behind their back? Well, I don't know.
That's why this weekend is so important. Ole Miss is 10-1. And if Ole Miss is 11-1, I don't care who's coaching them.
They're
going to be in. But if they lose this game this weekend, then now they're 10-2. Their coach is probably gone. There's going to be, you can make a case for Vanderbilt that's just as good as the case for Ole Miss, and they've got their coach and they've got a superstar quarterback. Like, sure. So you're asking, not only Lane Kiffin's under more pressure than any coach in the country this year.
This ain't pressure. He's on top. Look at all the people just falling down around him to please him. We've allowed him to reach this situation where he is some kind of godlike figure that we're willing to throw around $50 million. They're going to offer $50 million in a Cadillac. How about $55 million? And we got 3 schools going back and forth. No, Lane Kiffin, by circumstance, is the most fortunate football coach in the history of college football, because when this is done, he will be the highest paid to have ever walked the sideline.
The other thing, he's in such a weird spot because he's got to make a decision not only for his future, but this is the best season that Lane Kiffin's ever had. Ole Miss could be a legit national championship contender. Ole Miss is really freaking good.
Yes, they are.
And if he decides to take one of these other jobs, he's not going to have a chance to finish the job that he started this season.
And even no matter where you go, there's no guarantee you get back to this.
No.
You're still in the SEC.
Yeah.
So,
and to leave behind a team that might be 11-1 and might be, depending on what else happens on Friday, might be playing for an SEC championship game. And playing potentially for a home playoff game in Mississippi, which has never happened. This is not only the best season Ole Miss has ever had, it's the best season Lane Kiffin's ever had, and he would have to turn around and leave it.
And that's incredible. There, in my opinion, and Coach Saban on College Game Day alluded to this in wake of everything that's going on with Lane Kiffin. And I've said this, there needs to be, if you want to hire a James Franklin who's already been fired or a Mike Gundy, go for it. an open vacancy can be replaced by someone who does. You can't court coaches who already have jobs. And I know there's going to be ways around it and people are going to sneak around, but there has to be penalties. It has to be treated a lot like their transfer portal. There have to be windows. There has to be specific times where this is allowable. And I understand the recruiting aspect and everything that goes into it, but to hold actual universities, multiple universities hostage over this period of time, including one that has potentially the greatest season it's ever had hanging in the balance in Ole Miss because of the potential rumors and pitfalls and schools courting their head coach. That has to stop. And I'm happy that Eric Morris has a job, and I'm happy that they're giving, but there needs to be windows for coaches just as there are for players. And I do believe the players needed the ability to move, and being held by these scholarships was wrong. When coaches leave, and the coaches are the players who are the people who recruit the players, but it's also wrong that the coaches who recruit these players get to leave them, and they need to be held accountable as well, as do the schools. And this, if you need to push back recruiting windows, if you need to push back signing days, whatever it is, this is something that has to happen. We have to get a handle on this the same way we have to get a handle on the transfer portal and NIL in my decision. What say you? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When we come back, Danny Cannell joined the Blitz a little bit earlier today. I'm going to play you part of that interview, different parts of that interview, as there was some great things both around this coaching thing and Texas A&M coming up on Friday night, a game you can catch right here on San Antonio Sports Star starting at 5:30 with the pregame brought to you by Just Pots. That's all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dallas Cowboys fans, come on down!
It's AJ and Rob from the Morning Huddle,
And you could be the next contestant on
The Stat Is Right.
Every week leading up to the week of the Cowboys home game, AJ and Rob toss out a Cowboys player and a stat from the upcoming home game. Passing yards, rushing yards, number of times Dak adjusts his wristband mid-play, or perhaps CeeDee Lamb mouthguard chews per quarter. Whatever. All you have to do is predict that stat, get the closest, and bam! You're headed to Jerry World with a pair of tickets to the next Cowboys home game. Think of it like The Price is Right, but instead of winning a blender, you get to scream, "How about them Cowboys?" inside AT&T Stadium. So study up, Cowboy Nation, and listen to the Morning Huddle to play. The Stat Is Right, only on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Don't miss Target's Swag Bag giveaway. Be one of the first 100 shoppers in line at any Target store on Black Friday and snag a free Shimmer tote bag with holiday goodies inside. Plus, 10 lucky shoppers who snag a bag will score a free bonus gift, like a Ninja slushie, Beats Solo 4 headphones, a Life and hair dryer, or a $100 Target gift card. Don't miss Target's Black Friday Swag Bag giveaway. Only on Black Friday, only at Target. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Must be 13 or older. For full details, including odds, see official rules at target.com/events.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
It's finally here. Black Friday at Ulta Beauty. Take 30% off MAC foundations and lip colors. Save $100 on the iconic Dyson Airwrap. And starting Tuesday, shop mascaras for $14 and lip colors for $12. Perfect for stocking up. To make it super easy, shop online and pick up in store or get same-day delivery. Head into Ulta Beauty and shop Black Friday deals now through November 29th. Ulta Beauty. Gifting happens here.
Does anyone feel like life is busier than ever, especially with the holidays? I'm a planner and try to think of it all. But what about the unexpected? Now, I've got that covered. My husband and I finally got life insurance with SelectQuote, and I couldn't believe how easy and affordable it was. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40, and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. This holiday season, I feel a little lighter, knowing my family is protected and ready for whatever the new year throws our way.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-970-3311. That's 1-800-970-3311. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-970-3311. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime, because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Currently, we're farming about 800 acres, and every year we're looking at what we can do to improve our farm, plant fertility, higher yields. That all starts with ag research.
Every year, America's research universities drive over $3.4 billion in agricultural science that supports U.S. farmers.
I want to keep this family farm in our family.
Help protect American farmers. Visit research4.us. Paid for by Research for a Stronger America.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in Iraq, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. You'll find exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 50% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Many of the successes you've had began with a great opportunity. Now, here's another one. Get started on your degree or certificate in San Antonio. Choose from more than 135 degree and certificate programs, faster onboarding, and more from University of Maryland Global Campus. Get personalized local support services and take online or hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I am James Pleasure. Appreciate y'all joining me, however you may be joining. We got Aggie basketball coming up at the bottom of the hour as they take on Mississippi Valley State with Andrew Monaco on the call. But until then, big football game coming up on Friday between the Aggies and Longhorns in Austin. First time back in Austin in quite some time. And lots of hype surrounding it. Plus, lots going on with these coaching searches in college football and the way coaches are hired, while still having jobs, and a lot that they got into earlier today with Danny Cannell. If you want to catch the full interview, it's going to be online at sasportstar.com, NRAA Best Bail Bonds audio vault. But I want to bring you a portion of that right now as we start off talking about Eric Morris in Oklahoma State.
Danny Cannell joining us on the Buyers Barricades guest line, courtesy of Bet Online. And Danny, before we talk about all the big games this week, the coaching movement starting today. North Texas loses Eric Morris to Oklahoma State. Now, we know Eric around here. I've known him for a long time. Started at Incarnate, known for, identifying Cam Ward as a no-star recruit and everything that he has done since. But the idea that they could play for the conference championship game, possibly make the playoff, and because of timing, Eric has to make a decision. Do you take this job or not? Strike while the iron is hot. Apparently, Oklahoma State's going to let him stay at North Texas, and North Texas is going to let him stay to finish out the couple of weeks. But this is the craziest part of college athletics, isn't it?
Yes, it's the craziest and it's the worst part about it, right? And I think this is the best case scenario is if what you laid out right there is allowed to happen, that North Texas says, you know what, we appreciate everything you've built. This team this year feels special. Let's see if you guys can go win a championship. Let's see if you guys can get a playoff win. And I think for Oklahoma State, I think it's the right thing for them to say, hey, we want a coach who has the character that's going to want to stay and finish what he started, and we're willing to wait, maybe sacrifice some in the high school recruiting day and possibly in the transfer portal window. We're willing to go ahead and wait because we believe in you that much. We want to let you finish. So I think that's the best case. Now, I understand, and it seems like, how do you do this when you're divided time? Because I think it'll be awkward, because I do think Eric Morris probably will be trying to recruit some players to Oklahoma State, either both from his roster at North Texas, but also out there, across the country. So that's a dynamic that's just weird. I really do think the biggest problem, I know everyone has talked about this, but the biggest problem is that the college football calendar is just so broken. It's why we're in these messes. Why should any of these schools be allowed to talk to coaches, recruit them, hire them away? Why do we have ultimatums given by schools that you have to decide this weekend, like Ole Miss is doing with Lane Kiffin? You should not be allowed to leave. You shouldn't be allowed to hire until after the whole season is done, which would be in January, after January 21st. And then, oh, by the way, that's when we should go back to having our high school signing day, which was always in February. Then you could have a spring transfer portal, and it kind of all aligns, because right now it's just broken. It just doesn't make any sense. And these are all dysfunctional things that are happening.
Yeah, there's no doubt, Danny. And you mentioned Lane Kiffin, and I'm not sure Ole Miss or LSU, if that's where he decides to go, we'll do the same thing that North Texas and Oklahoma State are doing when it comes to that. But it is broken, and it makes me sad, I'll be honest with you. If Lane Kiffin decides to go to either Florida or LSU, that Ole Miss team is a good football team who has a chance to make some noise in the college football playoff. And I just find it sad that they're having to deal with this distraction.
I do too, and they better not get dinged for it. The committee is allowed to take into injury and coaching considerations into their process of how they view certain teams. We saw my alma mater, Florida State, get really, screwed out of a playoff spot because their quarterback was hurt. And I've already heard some people alluding to the fact that, well, if Lane Kiffin's not there, that makes them a different team, and that would be a travesty. And the other thing, I do think that Lane Kiffin, as much as an offensive mind as he is perceived to be, and he is not the play caller. It is Charlie Weiss. And Pete Golding is a great defensive coordinator. I almost feel like if Lane does leave, then all of a sudden it gives that team an opportunity to come together with an us against the world mentality and say, you know what? Screw him. He left us. We're going to do something despite of him. There's also their reality that they could all feel sorry for themselves. They could get docked a space or two. They might have to go on the road in the playoffs, and then it just totally tears them apart. I hope it's option A if that does indeed happen. But I think Lane actually might stay at Ole Miss. I think he doesn't know what he's going to do, and that is crazy. But it is a life-altering decision that he's trying to make in the midst of all this. I think there's a chance that he actually does not know what he's going to do.
That was Danny Cannell earlier today on the Blitz. You want to catch that full thing, go to sasportstar.com in our audio vault. Question on our YouTube page, Goldfinger asking sleeper team to make possible deep runs. Check out the Texans if they get that offense together to match that defense. Same goes for the Cowboys. If that defense continues to ball out the way the offense plays, those are two teams that could make a deep run. Check on your loved ones. You never know what people are going through in life, and a simple, hey, how you doing can change everything. We got Aggie basketball coming up next right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all